What is going on, YouTube family? It is the Washingtons hitting you guys with another video. Today we have a topic that's pretty close to home, one that I call Beauty and the Beast. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today we are talking about starting marriage with a child, which has its pros and cons. Babe, go ahead and start us off. What was it like starting marriage? Actually, go ahead and let them know what it was like, you know, already having a daughter and having to make that switch and cleave to me.
So the adjustment was actually pretty difficult. As a single mom, you know, my focus was Shea. She was my first focus outside of, you know, God and work. So that was hard. Transferring that attention, that focus, that energy to Malik, and not so much on Shea, because I had him now and his health and things like that. It wasn't just about her, but it was about cultivating our relationship, and that was important because it would be the best for her in the long term. But it was very hard in the beginning. It was not easy because it was 2.5 years of doing it by myself, and that's all I knew. So trying to incorporate another person who's supposed to be my number one when I already kind of had a number one was not easy.
Yeah, I would say that transition was definitely tough because I had my transitional issues with Shay already being there. I think God already knew that it was going to be difficult. So with him putting her and placing her into my dream and giving me a relationship with her before I actually had a relationship with her, he knew that was going to be important, us making this transition, not just me moving here, but also taking on a daughter full time, you know, as my own. So that transition was, like I said, the beginning was a beast. Like, we have to be honest when we talk to you guys, because we also want you to understand that life is life. We can shoot all of these videos and you guys can see all the fun times, the times of Shea's adoption, that we're laughing, we're talking, and we're enjoying one another. I've always enjoyed Shea, but there is a beast factor of that in the transition of life. You know, trying to go into marriage and cleave to my wife as a single man and say, hey, I'm trying to create this bond with her. Yeah, I think we only knew each other for 7 months before we got married.
Yeah.
You know, we were going through this process. It was a fast-paced situation with the child already in the picture.
Yeah, I would say, like, if there wasn't a child in the picture, we moved at a fast pace anyways for a relationship. 7 months is a short time to, like, get to know somebody long distance, and then we got engaged, and then we got married. And it was just like, it all happened so fast, but now we have a child. And it's just like, Malik God prepared him to be a father. Malik was meant to be a father, but that takes a getting used to also. And so it was like that, and being a husband, and like a lot to juggle. So would explain to them from your point of view, you know, with my focus being on Shea in the beginning and not like cleaving to you, and that transition for me being hard. How was that like on your end? Like seeing my focus on her and like kind of, you know, desiring us to get closer, but I was kind of still like falling behind a little. Like it took me a while.
Yeah, and it was just a tough transition because, I mean, when you do have someone that's your number one focus, you make meals for every single night, you do life with, and that's what you're used to having. It is tough to totally make a relational change and put someone else as your priority and your child second. Your child is second in your marriages. So just know that your relationship as a couple, as a married couple, is going to be first. That's your first priority.
Well, it
so,
should be first, yeah.
Well, I'm letting you know that is yours, so you should make it that.
Yeah.
You know, but me coming as a single man, understanding that and growing in that and practicing and preparing for marriage, it kind of hurt at the beginning because I know that I was any true man is going to pursue, right? So I was pursuing Chelsea to grow in this relationship with her one-on-one, and I knew that it was extra important because Shea was already in the picture. And with Shea already in the picture, that means our relationship needed to be as strong as possible, as quick as possible. So I put it on the urgent seat to make sure that me and her had one-on-one time and that we just got to know each other at a high level. But she wasn't necessarily there yet. So of course that caused stress, some anguish, because it was just like, you know, man, I really want to own in on my wife. I want to spend time with her. Meanwhile, I mean, we're working and stuff like that, so time is limited, but it's like, man, I want to spend time with her. I want to grow with her, and that just wasn't her mindset. And I think the more that I pushed, the more, a little bit, it kind of turned her away too, because it was kind of like,
he was clingy.
yeah, like, oh, he's being clingy
like I did
to me.
feel
Like,
smothered because it was like I wasn't used to that.
But I think it wasn't necessarily even the clingy aspect of it. I think it was more so the mental, emotional, and the physical change. You know what I mean? That was going to, and it was kind of like I was like pushing it at a fast pace, and she was kind of like pushing it away, like no, like kind of like a defensive mechanism.
I
like,
almost felt like I was almost betraying Shea.
Yeah,
I felt like I was taking something from her instead of allowing Malik to come into the picture and our relationship to grow to better her. Because that's truly what it was, but like you said, it was a mindset thing and it was an emotional thing. So I think that's where I struggled. And
just not knowing how to handle it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I honestly, like, I didn't prepare for that. Like, I don't know how, or if you can, probably, but I didn't know how. So
it's a unique awareness to have, because there was times, and she wasn't doing it on purpose, but there was times that it did hurt, because like she'd make dinner and she put plates on the table for her and Shay, and she'd like look over and I'm like, and she's like, oh, sorry about that, like stuff's over there, and I'm like, yo, hold up, let me tell you something, like you're supposed to serve me first. That's a huge transition. And like she said, like if she's feeling like, well, I'm betraying my daughter by now servicing you, you know, there's just that balance. And I think family as well, just as a whole, that relationship with Shay, and even how her situation is viewed, you know, not necessarily having a father until I came around, it still has an effect on the child. But I think we also have to remember that that child is still normal and they need to be treated like a normal child.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then there will be extensive things that pry at them mentally. And I would definitely say a little bit of that happened with Shay. But the beauty though. The beauty is how it started, and when I finally got to meet Shay, we clicked like that. Like she was with me. She was a day oneer, even in the dating time. She really just clung to me, and she kind of let me nurture her a little bit. She really did.
Yeah, it was an immediate connection.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I mean, she had met him on FaceTime and stuff like that, but that, you know, like it's the in-person that really matters, and the moment they met, that was like confirmation also. I mean, we had a lot of confirmation in our relationship, but it was like, yeah, like this is dad. This is gonna be dad.
For sure.
So that was really
cool. For sure. And it was like, but like I said, even the beast nature of that, just Shay learning that, hey, this isn't just a man that has fun with me and comes and plays, but like, now this is a father, and now it's something that I've never experienced before. So that child has stressors, and a child can't necessarily show stress and pains of change and hurt like an adult can, because they don't necessarily know how to express that. But she definitely went through it, and she never really like threw tantrums or flailed on me or did anything crazy, but just the discipline aspect or helping her grow in life, she wasn't used to me being in that role. Yeah. So it definitely was a transition. So whenever I did correct her or anything like that, she was like taken back, and she'd like try to run to Chelsea, and so, you know, that type of stuff. Yeah. that type of stuff did take time, but it was just consistency, just consistency. And then also, I think most of you guys know how mom-child relationship is most of the time. And for some reason, they just, on the discipline side and the correction side, they just give dad a little bit easier of a time than mom. But with her not having that in her life, I think it was like a huge leap.
Yeah.
And I'll have to let her know when she gets older that I appreciate her taking that leap, because she kind of had no choice. And she just kind of like pushed through that high stress situation. An awesome child, and she's just continuing to grow. I will say that she definitely still has pains and things like that we'll have to address as she gets older, though, with just life, life that happened. And but God put me in the situation that He did and in her life for a reason. So I'm excited to go through even more beastly things, with her in that transition. That's just life, so we can't just show you good pictures and good videos and not let you know that, like, marriage is a work, kids are work, they are work, they're work. We're highly favored because of it, and we enjoy being parents and we enjoy being married, but they take cultivating, and they take skills, they take time, scheduling, time management, they take a whole lot of things. What else you got to say, babe?
Nothing but the thought that came to mind was, we enjoy so much, we might have another someday.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna have another kid. I mean, well, we got to think. We're talking about just starting marriage with Shea and how that transition was difficult. Because marriage as a whole, just two people coming together and trying to cleave, is already a difficult thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially from two different areas of life. Like, you got to think, we're 18 hours apart. She's in the Midwest. I'm further, West Coast, and our lifestyles, everything, the way we eat, the way we talk, everything is just totally different. So just getting to know one another in that aspect in a short period of time, that's difficult enough, but not getting enough time to really embrace those differences and kind of figure things out. That's even tougher. And then you throw in an extra relationship. So I was really getting to know two women at the same time, and on top of that, getting to know a woman as a whole, and then getting to know a young girl as a half, and really trying to put the pieces together that are really unseen, and trusting God in that process, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like that whole transition, and just trying to figure you and Shay out at the same time. What stresses and what beasts did you receive from me? Because we all have to handle stress, and we don't necessarily know how to handle it, but we try to do it the best way we possibly can. And as a leader, it's like anything you do and the way that you operate is just out there to shine. You're leading the family, you're making decisions, you're talking a lot, you're helping a lot. So I know my stress definitely had its beastly natures at the beginning of our marriage. So how did you feel during that time? What pressures did you feel from me particularly?
I think in the beginning it was tough, especially having a disciplinary come in. I wasn't necessarily on top of my discipline game, so that was difficult in itself. Actually having somebody that loved her enough, because I wasn't truly loving her in that area. So that was an adjustment, and that was stressful for myself, but also Shea, because it was something that I lacked in, and I didn't give her the attention she needed in that area.
Well, you're a single mother as well, and you try to pick and choose the things that you focus on, right? And then also, like, we're also human, so on her side of things, if she's working, she's trying to provide for the daughter, and she knows that Shea, is at daycare during the day and things like that. In her mind, do you really think the first thing she wants to do is if Shea is acting up, to discipline or to correct her or do anything like that, when you only have like 2 hours before it's time to go to bed?
Yeah. There were other stressors too, not just getting used to the discipline aspect, but him as a leader, like that was hard. Because I was used to being a leader and leading my little family of 2 and making the decisions financially and where we went to church and all those little things that like don't seem like a big deal when you're kind of in it, but when somebody else comes into the picture that is the main decision maker.
Yeah, and we make decisions together. We talk through things, but it just looks very different.
Yeah, but actually having somebody lead me in that, because I didn't have that was tough.
Or even question a decision.
Yeah, I definitely felt like controlled.
Yeah.
And I use that word because
handling stress.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
And was it a bad control? No, but it was letting go of that control that was difficult for me.
And what's you used to say a lot, like, I feel like you're trying to change me.
I did.
Right?
I did feel like Malik was trying to change me in a lot of different ways. It was like almost like you don't accept me and you don't accept my decisions or my ideas and things like that. But it was like
it wasn't that approach. I mean, like I said, when I talked about our distance and our difference in lifestyles, one thing you have to understand about the Midwest, the mindset is totally different than, the further west that you go in like bigger cities or something like that. Like the optimism or just the go mentality, and then it's a slower nature. Out here in Wisconsin, the mindsets kind of differ. So when I come in and I'm high energy and, I'm all about cultivating self-progress and like, let's go. Like,
that's an adjustment in itself.
It is. And like I said, the pressure of the situation of trying to speed things up, like, hey, we need to fit in more time. I need to understand more about you. And you have someone with me that I'm really open and I can talk. You know what I mean? I can talk, I can express, and I find words a little bit easier.
It's something I'm still working on, but communication was
way better. She's way better now. Like,
my communication was really bad. I was used to like having my nights alone and like just chilling, because I was stuck at home. My daughter would go to bed and it was like, okay, like I get alone time and whatever. And then having him come into the picture was like we saw each other every night when he moved here, and it was like, okay, like it was very stressful because it was overwhelming, and that was difficult. I don't know, there were a lot of things. You being a disciplinary, you taking over a lot of that role and leading and feeling like I was being controlled or changed, but truly it was just him trying to better me as an individual and prepare me to be a wife in the dating process. And then when we got married, it was growing me as a woman of God, and still is. So there's a lot of transition through it all.
And man, did I
still play for it.
That's just like, but she handles the pressure
better,
way different now than what she did at the beginning, because like and a lot of the things that she was just like, yo man, like you're trying to change me, like I'm not about that, like let me live as I am, like I don't need to make any changes, I don't need to do anything like that. I mean, some of the times like 6 months down the road, she'd be like, oh man, I'm ready to change and do all this other stuff.
Do this,
and I'm just like,
I said that 6 months ago.
Yeah. And I'm like, for real? But that's just the thing, so with her, like, communication is important. So when we make that switch, and her kind of comfort zone was to shut down and go quiet on me during pressure situations, because she wasn't used to being in high pressure situations. Were you? Challenging.
Yeah.
You've experienced pressure.
I've experienced like challenge in different ways, like I'm gonna provide for Shea and things like that. But as far as like personal growth, I wasn't challenged in that. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm saying even as a whole though, like you've experienced pressure, but I wouldn't say to that amount. Like there's always new, like you thought you were capped off, and then it's like that ceiling was raised.
I know so much.
And then that ceiling is raised, and it's like, whoa. Like I feel like a baby again, and I don't want to feel that way, because I felt like it's like a sense of not having control anymore. And I think that was part of it. Like just for both of us, it's like you feel like you have certain things figured out, and then when that pressure threshold is raised to a high level, it's like, whoa, like I'm really a baby. Like there's just things that I'm not understanding at a high level. But like I said, with that communication, you know, you start feeling that pressure, and then she shuts down on me and she goes quiet, and now I can't talk to her, and we're supposed to get to know each other. Then that creates a whole different stressor on my end. So now I'm caused to grow in patience as a man. You know, so it wasn't necessarily by her words that I grew in the early parts of our relationships, but it was by actions, you know, whether it's something that she did good or whether it was something that she didn't do very well. I had to find a way as a man and as a leader to cope with that in a totally different fashion that I never had to even think about. Because you got to think, I came from living a bachelor lifestyle, having my condo, living by myself, just working a whole lot and investing time in other people and telling them about God, you know. So I had those opportunities, but now having a unique human being that was my number one ministry, and I was super excited about and passionate about, and not having her want to receive that at the beginning. That was tough. But I also acknowledge that it was even tougher on her end, because because it was a lot of change on me, but I was kind of like bearing down on her a little bit, because I wanted a sense of control too, and we both didn't have that control, and it really didn't settle down until we really got back just focused on God. You know, you go through so much and you're like, oh, we're focused on God, but God has opened you up into a totally different part of a relationship with Him. You know, verbally we knew, and we could talk about it, you know, that, you know, it's a 3-strand cord, you know, that's not easily broken, and when we talked through all of it, but like actually having to live it out, that was a transition, you know. So that's kind of our snippet, kind of long, but we could talk, there's way more, but that's kind of like the beauty and the beast of starting a relationship, our marriage with the child, for sure.
I would say the hardest part for our story, or in our story, the hardest part about it, that's what I'm trying to say, would be we didn't really get a lot of time just together. We transitioned into a family of 3 immediately. As much as we love our kids and we're raising our arrows to shoot them out into the world to better the kingdom, we are looking forward to not having kids someday and getting to actually spend time together. Just growing and doing ministry and traveling and serving God. So.
Yeah, and that's the last thing that we want to encourage you guys in, is to make sure that you grow as a married couple. We can get so drowned out by our kiddos and focusing on our kiddos that we forget to grow together. And when you do get to that empty nester period in your life and stuff like that, it's like you're facing a stranger. And that's something that I told her from the beginning. I'm like, I see these in too many relationships that once kids kind of leave the picture, and as they start to get older and they're out more, and it's just leading to higher divorce rates, honestly. And they just don't know each other. So we definitely don't want that in our relationship. We want to be best friends. We want to be as close as possible. We want to be able to smile while we're gray and old and wrinkly.
Holding hands.
Slapping each other on the butt.
Holding hands at the ice cream shop.
All that good stuff, you know what I mean? God has brought us together, and until it's time for us to depart this earth, we'll be together, you know? And we just want to continue to make that conscious effort to grow as a couple, and we want you guys to do the same. But that's it now. We're done with the video. So check all the social media in the link in the description box below. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys next time. Later.